Good morning. Welcome to the live this morning. Oh, shoot, I didn't tag. Hold, please. Amy is on. We're getting so good. Welcome to the call, guys. Hey.
Hey, we are getting so good at that. That was like no time.
We hate to brag, but that was awesome.
That was the smoothest I think we've done that.
Well, it's funny too, because I was like, I forgot to put you in the actual title. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to add her then. It's going to work out great.
All right, lady. Good to see you.
Good to see you always. Your hair looks adorbs.
Thank you. It's the short hair thing. It's very easy to do.
I can imagine. So is this. I rolled out of bed.
If you saw me right when I got up, I do look like a bird that got hit by a car. So it's a little different in the morning.
So today we are talking, thank you everyone who's coming on here. Say hi, give us a little wave or whatever you got in you. Hearts, we love hearts. Amy and I are here again. We love chit-chatting. And today we're going to talk about how to exceed goals every month after month. And that really has to do with abundance mindset, don't you think?
I do. You and I were chatting beforehand, which is how we come up with our ideas. And
2 minutes before the call, by the way.
2 minutes. Yes. And how do we, oh gosh, it's just so funny. When we're in the middle of doing the work like you and I are, even though we're helping the people we work with, it's because we're doing the work. And so each month we have goals, just like everybody else. So you hit it, right? And then there's that minute, and your brain goes right into, oh, but how do I do that again and even better? And yeah. I don't know. I'm no movie star. But if you read about, the really successful athletes or movie stars, they hit that big and they do that once. Musicians, the pressure of having another massive selling album.
Sure.
How do you do that again? Well, when we take it back into our day, it's pretty much the same. Well, we set the same goals, do the same things. But as you and I were talking, I don't think it's so much about the goals. It's about an abundance mindset, right?
Yeah.
Which sounds woo-woo. What's an abundance mindset? Well, if we say, I had an awesome month last month. So take for you, you're rocking your business, you're rocking your clients, you hit another massive level, right? Was it promotion? What do you call that?
6 rank advancements in less than 30 days.
Okay, it's like massive
And
movement.
the day after I went, how the hell do I redo that?
Yeah. And so as we talked, okay, I need to hit it again. I need to create abundance again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what creates stress and pressure.
Right there, you just want to lay down. That's too much, right? Yeah. And our world, if we look outside, teaches us that. So one of the things when I'm working with my clients or in my community, my online community, is I know the world is telling us a lot, but we need to stop and pause and pay attention to the thought we just had. Like literally, we have to be aware of it.
Sure.
Because then when you take a breath and get back in body and are aware of that thought, you now have power again. You've always had it, but you can use it and claim it. Because the thought is, I have to keep creating abundance again and again and again. No, that means I'm coming from lack.
But the word have and need are serious lack words as well.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And the whole thing around the business I do is if you come from lack, then you're getting people. And no one wants to be gotten at all. No one wants to be sold to or gotten. And so if I could, right after I get a huge goal, well, really the goal's 6 months out. Okay. It's not just my 1 month goals. It's 6 months to 2 years to 5 years out. And so if I can get my head, when I get to my head wrapped around, this is about loving people, period. When people know you love and care about them, that's...
Yes, but it's about you loving you first. Yes. Now that sounds woo-woo, right?
It's true.
But seriously, if we go inward and you love you from right now, in knowing that you are already abundant and feeling the abundance and feeling enough and feeling everything that you want on the outer world first. We don't keep going for abundance. We are already coming from it.
Right.
And so I had asked, if you didn't get your next goal or rank advancement, would you be okay? You know, I can ask, if I don't grow my online community to the number that I have in my mind, will I be okay? Now, you're the first going to say right off the bat, I hear women say no, or yeah, I mean, you know, and then logically we'll explain it. Well, the world doesn't blow up, and yes, I'll just keep working harder, you know, all this ego stuff. But when you feel inside, I'm doing this because I love it, and right now it seems to be the right path, and I'm abundant and I have fun and I'm already everything I need. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to figure out something. I'm not attached to the outcome that I can't flex and flow with something different. Right. That's so hard to do. I don't have it down pat either. You know, I've been through a last 10 days of stuff where I've been having to read my own notes for myself and call in my own coaches again and go, what? You know, but it's just a nice small awareness.
Yeah. It's always nice when we can be a hypocrite in our own speech.
Well, and I don't think, especially you, and I don't think I do that all the time either. I think we're doing the work so that we give permission to everybody else when their soul sees ours to say yes to themselves.
Yeah.
And to say, oh, yeah, it's a constant evolving minute after minute. It's not one and done. If you're done, you're not in this physical body anymore. And that's okay. But as long as you're here, it's grasping that space in between the thought, right before the feeling, and being aware of what was that thought, and is that true? Because most our thoughts are coming from our past experiences. Yeah. So right now, right here, looking at you and talking to you, right in this moment, you're completely abundant. When we can feel what you desire to happen and have the new thoughts and feel that and embrace that and know that you are not lacking in anything. That's part of that excitement and that feeling that we want to create, because actually we send out new neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
And once we do that, we send out neural peptides, which we actually start affecting our genes. We actually start rewiring the circuit literally in our brain. And so it doesn't have to be willpower, but we need a tribe to help us keep consistently implementing those small steps just in the moment each day. And I think you do that as an example to the people you help, the people you serve, the people you work with and lead. And that's why when they're watching you and you're doing your lives and everything, they're relating to you so much.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, vulnerability and relatability is super huge.
Mm-hmm. And we all can relate to everybody. We just think we're separate from everybody.
Yeah. And so like even your clients, when they hear, oh yeah, I still struggle, you guys, like, geez. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just, I found these awesome tools that I want to share with you that really helped me and that's how I feel about it is, have I arrived in anything at all? No, but I'm on the, it's so much easier now. I catch myself within minutes instead of months or years of these patterns that just kill off your creativity and excitement for life. But you're right.
Yeah.
When you are in scarcity, when I'm in scarcity, there are no ideas flowing. There's no excitement flowing. And it's just like, I am doomed to be blah, blah, blah. You're in abundance when you can look at something and be like, oh my gosh, if that's your response, then that's abundance. Like, you are like, oh my gosh, this is exciting. Like, I can create something with this or move forward with this quickly. So when you come into contact with people that are in scarcity, not only do you recognize it very quickly, how do you choose out of judgment and flow into more of a support stance, but also not let it infiltrate?
I'm not sure I quite understand.
So when you go into, hey guys, thanks for joining. When you go into a space with someone that's really struggling and in scarcity, how do you hold your ground in abundance so that you're not affected or infiltrated into scarcity?
So there's several things that you can do, but I'll just, and it depends on the person. Like if you,
right.
I physically sometimes will ground, okay, because we're energetic beings. Okay. That might be a different education process. So I do grounding. And I intently listen. I focus on what they're saying. I hear them as a soul to soul. I've had to learn not to attach to their story or what they're saying. Because when we do that, it's like, if you're in sales and you want to close a deal, okay, however you want to say that, we're all in sales and we're exchanging services.
Sure.
And if they have an objection, which is a hesitation because they're being caused to think a new way in a new manner from what you're saying, if I get involved with feeling what they're saying and take that thought in, oh yeah, well, now probably isn't a good time. You're not going to have money because, summer's coming up. I don't know. You're going to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. I've been in that place before. Now I'm starting to internalize it and I feel that. And I actually energetically think, well, no, I don't have the money, or I wouldn't have the money. Why would they? So when you can pause and see the other person as a soul just like you, here to evolve, and they're coming from the ego, which is self-doubt and fear, you see the oneness. I can see the oneness, but I can also lovingly not be involved or attached to their story because they have their own journey, and maybe my time with them isn't right now, but they're on their own path. So I'm not taking it personally because they're on their own journey.
Not being attached to the outcome is super, super important.
Not being attached to the outcome. And that doesn't mean not caring.
No.
Most women that I work with, let's say, we like to fix people. But when we realize, especially in the kind of the consulting fashion that I do with the mindset shift, my job isn't to fix them. And I always remind them that you're not broken. So there's nothing to fix. And you don't need my permission to do anything or anybody else's. When we take that view that these people we're talking to are not broken, I'm not attached to their story, but I can lovingly share my expertise. So can you, right? So it allows me to be, to speak the truth in love. Sometimes people call that being blunt, but to help them see through the muck so they can make their own decision. I'm not telling them what to do. You're not telling people what to do. You're helping them to see the truth. And when I get deeper in the work with them, you know, the ego comes in. So I'm helping them to see where they're coming from ego and asking, is it really true? Because what we have built as beliefs, we will operate as, right? So if we've had a thought and we think it's a belief, we're going to operate from that. But maybe that's not true for you. And if you don't want it to be true, when you change that thought and change that belief, you'll have different behavior, which will probably get you on your path to where you would desire to go or where you would like to be. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I kind of went off on a little tangent.
No, that's what we do because we get excited.
I know.
Let's see. So just the journey of, I just wonder how fearful people are, or how fear runs our lives so much that we're afraid to fail and we're afraid to step out. And we're afraid of what people think. And I've found along the way, people just really don't think much. Like, that's
why though? Do you know why? Because they're not concerned about Amanda when they're standing there, because we're concerned about our own selves. We're in our own ego. We really think that other people care much more than they do.
And that is so humbling. Because when I left the ranch, which was our huge family dream, that pretty much just fell apart and exploded last year. And I was so fearful of putting that online and being like, because I had people that journeyed with me for 10 years to acquire that dream, you know, and I don't want to put that out there. I don't want them to see me unhappy, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, ultimately, I don't mean no one cares, but ultimately people are very absorbed with their own lives. Mm-hmm. I've heard one of my friends said this, like, you could be at a funeral and the next question is, when are we getting pizza? Like, the next question is, how am I going to get fed? And, you know, that's brutal, and it's true. It's true. People move on. Same with all sorts of losses. The ego is just the fear. You said fear and ego, and I like that. I've not heard that before. So now I can go, when I'm in fear, I am in ego. Mm-hmm. That's an important trigger for me. That's cool.
And if you take a deep breath, literally what the deep breath does as you close your eyes, it brings you back into heart. Again, sounds woo-woo, but there's neuroscience behind this. Because when we're up here in cognitive world, we're only able to make decisions. Yeah. That's not where the creativity is coming from.
Right.
So we're in fear of self-doubt because, oh my God, this didn't work in the past. And fear of the future, which we sit there and make up a future that hasn't even happened. Oh, well, but this could happen next week and next week, and then you're sitting there and literally you've sent the neuropeptides, so your body's feeling it.
Yeah.
And it hasn't even happened. And it may never happen.
Don't move. Because you just,
I know. So taking a deep breath and closing your eyes and doing that literally gets you out of cognitive thinking and into heart. And when you do that, you've caused enough pause that you can now hopefully be that space to hear those thoughts and go, oh, and maybe you can't do anything with them right now, or you don't want to, but just watching them and being aware of them has got you out of your head and ego.
Yeah.
And when you're in heart, and that's why meditation is so important, but if you're not doing meditation, when you're in heart, that's where your creativity comes. That just for the moment, like, well, here's what I could do. Here's my next step from my business. Here's my next step from my health plan. Yeah. Here's my next step for and here's the secret, guys. It isn't about the things on the outside in the world. It's always about a step on the inside. It's a step on, I need to know more about forgiveness. For me first, maybe it is people we need to forgive, but forgiveness for ourselves, which you talk about failure. Well, if we don't really want to feel like we failed and we should have done better or whatever, that resistance is really about us forgiving ourselves for failing and understanding that failure is just a word and an amazing tool to help guide us to know what can we analyze at that time that did work, and then what would we do different, or what do we stop doing. I mean, everything here is about going inward to really develop that forgiveness and that I have everything and love. And we have to be it first. We be it first, and then it shows up in our world. It comes through us, not to us. 100,000 amazing people have said that.
Right.
That isn't my little line, but
it's always a pleasure to chat with you, sister.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I'm overwhelming, but girl, you get me on a thing here with your vibe that you send. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool because people are so fearful of lives. And I'm just like, this is an opportunity of a lifetime to get your voice out there. And you're not in control of who it gets out there too. Like, you can see the numbers, but instead of me just being here all by myself in my space, I have the opportunity to bring light and love to someone today. And so thank you for your time, for always, I mean, I absolutely love sharing life with you, and it's awesome to be able to give to the world what we have to offer. And if that is solely to breathe life into, for me personally, women, and giving them the hope that they do have something to offer, and they do have a tribe of people waiting to be led, then awesome. That makes me totally thrilled.
And that's one of the things you do best. And like you said, I mean, we do this, but we support each other. And just your words with what's gone on in my last week, and just without even knowing all the details, the way that you encourage and support people and me is seen. My soul sees it, whether you verbally say it or not. And when you show up for your clients, your customers, the people you work with, that's how you're showing up first. And what you can see their fear, which makes you an amazing leader, because it gives you the wisdom to see where they are, right, and to help them through that. So you do much more than, just the thing that you do. It is
my makeup lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get any tips, by the way, on my makeup live?
No, but I did get laughs.
She's good. That's honestly, I mean, there's so much, and we got to go. I'm sure it's probably 20 in, but that's what I finally came down to, is what are the gifts that's been given to you that are easy to give? Stop making it hard. I don't have the same gifts as Amy. I have the gift of humor and joy. And when I'm not in that, I am not giving my gift. Like, I'm actually doing the opposite. So if I can get on a live and have fun and teach you how to do makeup, which I've never done ever, and that's a humor piece. That's a humor piece for me. It brings me such joy to hear. I got, I think, 5 messages that they peed their pants laughing. That brings such joy to me.
So I'll say, if you have not seen Amanda before, or you're just now seeing her, I'm going to tell you right now, go find her, go to her page, go through her lives. This girl is not messing around. If you just need a laugh, and you will just sit there and go, huh. And you can start laughing over the topics that she brings up. I love that you bring that to people. And you do that in your book too.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. That is an amazing gift that you have. And I love that you share it with us.
Well, the thing is so here's something to ponder. I've been told my whole life I have humor, okay? So, and of course, I got attention for it, positive attention, sometimes negative, positive attention. And so as a human, we go, okay, that gets attention, so I'm going to do more of that to get more attention, right? Or more feedback of love.
More love.
Yeah. So I've used humor my whole life. I've raised my boys that way, and they are insanely funny and they are on point. So here's what I could have done. I could have said, yes, I should be a stand-up comedian, but I haven't done that yet. So I shouldn't give my humor to people anymore because it's not in the framework of what people think I should do. Well, I don't want to stand in a bar and have drunk men heckle me, even though that's fun. But then I will go into emasculating men. Like, I will take you down if you heckle me, kind of thing. That's not the space I want to be in. I want to give humor and joy and love and laughter. And this is why lives are so cool for me. Because I don't have to choose into, I can't give my humor because I'm not standing in front of an audience. Well, think outside of the box, people. Like, this is my audience. I don't even know who's watching.
Let the exact outcome go, every detail. So I love that you're saying that. Stand in your amazing thing you love to do. Don't try and monetize it right now. Right. Just do it. I mean, I'm not saying sit on the couch and eat bonbons. You do if you want, but we are like, oh, how can I monetize this? Well, I'm kind of good at that. I'll do that. And we reverse it. Do what you love.
Yeah.
Begin it. Don't hoard it. Share it. And it will unfold. Yes, you got to have some plan. You have to have a plan to get on live and do that if that's the plan, you know. But don't wait for it to look the exact way before you start. And don't try and monetize everything. I love that. That's what I heard you just say.
It's true. And coming from an entrepreneurial spirit, like, I've been selling stuff since I was 10 years old, you know, but the deal is people fall in love with you as a person. They could care less what you're selling. Truly. I mean, if I didn't ask you questions and knew what you did a little bit in your normal life, then I would just be like, well, I don't care what Amy does. I just want to be in her space. So what does it take to be in her space? Oh, okay. That's
we did that for a long time. Until we so let's have a talk about what you really do. Like what you do, you know?
It's like, okay, I was going to go into some humor there. So, but yeah, anyway, we go off on rabbit trails of awesome and abundant conversations. And so thank you guys for joining us today. It was great seeing all your faces come on. Definitely do the replay and put replay if you're watching it. And thank you guys for your time. And always, always, always shine your light. Stop covering it up because it does not look the way you think it should look. None of the things that I'm good at have ever looked the way I thought they should look. Ever. Because my brain capacity is small compared to what the capability is.
You got it.
Love you, girl. Have a great day.
Love you too. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Bye.